So let's take a look at these 5 concepts separately, take them apart a little bit. First, we have to capture the information. What does capturing really mean, and how do we do it?
Well, capture just means identifying the things that are not on cruise control, as I said. What has your attention? Oh, I need to call the bank about X, Y. Oh, you know, I got a client that came back to me and we need to do something about rewriting that proposal. I've got the light on the porch is out. I need all of those things that in any way have your attention. They're usually because there's something you need to do or decide about them still. We just need to identify those, and this is a critical first step, is just getting that inventory of all those things that are pulling on your psyche, if you will, all those things that have your attention. If I were to coach you desk side, the first thing we do is look around your environment and say, what doesn't belong here permanently? What's not supplies or reference material or decoration or equipment? Because those are the only 4 things that belong there, where they are, the way they are. Everything else is in process. It's some incomplete thing. It's something kind of yelling at you, essentially, from the side of your desk or under your desk or from the drawer of your desk or in the corner of your office or whatever. And that's the first thing we do, is let's grab those things that aren't there permanently, that represent something you still need to do, decide, think about, or do something about. We just gather all together and put it in your in tray. Your in tray is, you know, the most fabulous tool for this first function. But it also includes the meeting notes you come back with from the bank. You met with a banker, you took a bunch of notes, they're still stuck in your, in your folder or wherever it is. There's still things you need to decide about that. So that we would take and put in your in basket as well. Once we gathered all the physical representations of things that are incomplete or that you still need to do something or think something about, then we just empty your head. Gee, Jim, what else is on your mind? Oh, I got to talk to Bill Smith. We write that down, throw it in your in basket. You know, we're going to get a dog for our kids. Write that down. I need to, you know, we've got the next holiday coming up. I got to start to think, write that down, throw it in there. You know, I need to, whatever. Usually, by the way, it would take somewhere between 1 to 6 hours for the most mid to senior level professionals that we've coached one-on-one to actually just identify, not prioritize, not organize, not make decisions about, just gather that inventory. It's huge. Most people have no idea how many of those things are pulling on their psyche. So that's step 1, is just to capture those things.
Well, before you leave that, what about the non-physical, the inbox in our email?
Yeah.
Same thing, just
exactly
go through the emails, decide whether those are actionable, whether they're requests.
Yeah. Anything sitting in your email application, you know, is still represents something that still needs to be decided or done about. So a lot of people are, you know, sort of have tried to create workarounds where their in basket in email is also a reminder system, and that's unfortunately not a best practice, is to blend, you know, how you're using that function. But it's the same as your physical mailbox at your home or your apartment. It's like, well, it's stuff coming in there, you have to pull it out, you have to deal with it. Voicemail, if you're still using voicemail, any recorded device, all of those things represent stuff, if you will. That's our technical term for things that have landed in your environment or ecosystem about which there's still a decision or action that you probably need to take, but you haven't done that yet or decided what to do about it. So that's the stuff that's really out there creating this amorphous sense of pressure for most people, this what I call the GSA of life, that gnawing sense of anxiety, that there's stuff out there that you might, would, could, should, need to, ought to do something about or think about, just haven't done that yet. And that creates a very subtle, well, sometimes not so subtle, but a very subliminal drain on your energy. Some part of you knows that and still hears that noise. So that's a first step, is just to make sure that you've done that. And you need the tools to be able to, if you're going to do that, if you think your head's not the place to hold things, if you really buy into that idea, which I hope you do, because the brain is not designed to hold that stuff, then you need the tools. And my favorite tool is pen and paper, because you don't need Wi-Fi for that, and the batteries last a long time. You know, that's great. So, but for capture, that's very different than organize. Capture is just grabbing the stuff that then I need to move through the next few stages. So physical in baskets, recording devices. You could even email yourself something if you wanted to. There's lots of ways you can capture it, as long as it's not in your head, and as long as you park some trigger for that in some trusted place you know you'll see sooner than later.